Hi kids, it's Mr. Idukovich here. It's Friday, December 11th, 2020, and you are going to take your Unit 3, Week 2 reading test. So I've already opened my Benchmark Universe inside the portal page, and you should click on the assignments, and it should say 1 next to it because there's one new assignment. And when you get in there, you're going to click on the one that says December 11th. And then you're going to, it'll say December 11th, Unit 3, Week 2, and then you're going to get to this page once it opens up for you. Once you get here, you can just click Begin Now, and we'll take a little preview of the test. So this is what it looks like. This is what they always look like. And you'll be able to see if you click on this button that this test has 7 questions, so no different than any other week. And you'll also remember that as you finish the questions, the little blue dot will fill in. And so you know that you're already complete with that question if you see the blue dot. If there's no blue dot, it means you didn't do it yet. So let's take a look here and see what we've got. It says the story's title is What Midford Needs Now. And so I'll go through and read it to you, and then I'll read through the questions, and we'll talk a little bit about each one, and then hopefully this will help you when you take the test. The people of Midford are lucky. The Sandy River flows along the edge of town. Shady trees grow along its banks. Many people enjoy spending time by the Sandy River. When the weather is fair, people walk along the river. They have picnics under the trees. Sadly, it is harder for runners and bicyclists to enjoy the river. The only paved road along the river is Sandy Beach Drive. This road is very narrow. It often has a lot of traffic. Drivers find it hard to pass runners or bicyclists. This causes danger for everyone. Last year, Mayor Yates held a meeting to talk about the problem. Several people brought up the same idea. The town should have a paved recreation trail along the river. People could run or ride bikes on the path instead of the roadside. People could walk along it too. The paved trail would be safer than the dirt path they use now. Many people liked the idea of a paved trail, but other people complained. They said it would cost too much. Instead, they wanted to add roadsides along Sandy Beach Drive. The signs would tell drivers to share the road. Mayor Yates listened to everyone. Then he agreed to post signs along the road. Now a whole year has passed and the signs have not helped at all. Many drivers, runners, and bicyclists are still concerned. They say that Sandy Beach Drive is still too narrow and too busy for everyone to share safely. Mayor Yates must approve the recreation trail. It will make this beautiful spot safe and enjoyable for everyone. Yes, the paved trail will cost more than the signs, but safety for everyone is worth the price. Once you finish reading the story, and kids, you should read it for yourself too. Don't just rely on me reading it for you. You should also take the time to read that also. Then you can go over on the next side and start looking at the questions. And just like usual, remember some of these questions has 2 parts, like this one. This question has 2 parts. First answer part A, then answer part B. Part A says, what is the author's purpose in the passage? And we read 2 articles this week. We read Don't Change the School Song, and we read Education First. And both of those had a pretty specific purpose, if you can think back to that. The purpose of those articles, well, I guess I have to let you think about those, but try and think back. And if you need to pull out your book, go ahead and pull out your mentor text and look back at Don't Change the School Song and Education First and think about why did the authors write those. Okay, so let's take a look at the answer choices. To show that the Sandy River is a popular and beautiful place. To explain, oops, I have my own picture in the way, so I gotta see if I can move this. There we go. To explain why people want safety signs put up around the Sandy River, that's B. And then, I'm having all kinds of problems here. C says, to explain why the Sandy River needs a recreation path to improve safety. And D says, to prove that people must be more cautious when they drive along the Sandy River. So of those four choices, why do you think the author wrote this? Part B, choose two details from the passage that support the purpose, the reason why you think the author wrote that. A says the Sandy River flows along the edge of town. B, people could run or ride bikes on the path instead of the roadside. C, they said it would cost too much. D, it will make this beautiful spot safe and enjoyable for everyone. Or D, yes, the paved trail will cost more than the signs. So which two sentences or two details from the story support whatever you chose up here? Okay, and we've done these before, so hopefully that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, like I said, jump back on the meeting link and we'll talk about it there when you get to this question in your test. Number 2, reread paragraph 1. Choose the sentence that states the author's opinion. We talked about opinions when we talked about facts and opinions when we read Don't Change the School Song. And remember, we said a fact is something that's proven to be true, and opinion is a view or a judgment. So choose the sentence that states the author's opinion. The people of Midford are lucky. The Sandy River flows along the edge of town. Shady trees grow along its banks. Many people enjoy spending time by the river. Only one of those is an opinion, okay, or at least a clear opinion. So you might narrow it down to two of them, but only one is a clear opinion. Only one is a clear view or judgment of whatever the paragraph is talking about. So, and if you're wondering why I'm trying to speak and code it so I don't give away too much of the answer. So that's number 2. Just choose one. Remember, you just click on the sentences as they turn blue and they will stay blue, whichever one you think it is. Number 3, read the sentences from the passage. When the weather is fair, people walk along the river. They have picnics under the trees. Which meaning of fair is used in the sentences? In other words, what does fair mean in this context? Does fair mean following the rules? Does fair mean large in size? Does fair mean not stormy or cloudy? Or does fair mean light in color? And one of the best way to do this, kids, is when you read the sentence, just fill in the words. So if you're thinking about A for your answer, when the weather is following the rules, people walk along the river. If that makes sense to you, that's the answer you would choose. If it doesn't make sense to you, you would not choose that answer. Question 4, which sentence would fit in best with the author's voice if the sentence were added to paragraph 2? Which sentence would fit in best with the author's voice if the sentence were added to paragraph 2? Well, that's an interesting question. So what they're asking you is, if I go down to paragraph 2 here, it says, sadly, it is harder for runners and bicyclists to enjoy the river. The only paved road along the river is Sandy Beach Drive. This road is very narrow. It often has a lot of traffic. Drivers find it hard to pass runners or bicyclists. This causes danger for everyone. And then you got to look at A, B, C, or D. These are the sentences we could add in there, and we were trying to make sure they fit with the author's voice. So A says, just let me say there are some awful drivers too. Does that sound like something this person might write? The road's sharp curves add to the dangers. Does this sound like something that could be added to this paragraph and still make sense? You'd have to be crazy to jog or bicycle there. Does that sound like something the writer would put in this paragraph? Or D, what a big mess that road is for everyone. Does that sound like something that writer might add to that paragraph? So just think about that a little bit, and pick one you think that matches the tone or the author's voice in this paragraph. Which one fits in with the rest of what's being said? Number 5, read these sentences from paragraph 4. Many people like the idea of a recreation path, but other people complained. Which sentence sounds most like another way the author might say the same thing? Which sentence sounds most like another way the author might say the same thing? So what they're asking you here is many people, let me read the sentence again. Many people like the idea of a recreation path, but other people complain. So what is another way to phrase this that still sounds like the author? A lot of people wanted a recreation path, but others did not like the idea. B, you'd think everyone would be down with a recreation path, but they weren't. C, the smart people wanted a recreation path, but the rest said no way. Or D, can you believe that some people didn't want a recreation path? So this sentence is said in the same way as one of these. Okay, and so the best way to explain that is which one sounds like the same person is speaking. Sometimes when people say things, we can tell who's speaking by the words they choose. Which sentence has the most similar words in it? And I think that's the best way to explain that. So, like I said, if you have questions during the test, just click on the live link and I will be there to help you, because this one is a little bit different, confusing. So, all right, here we go on to question 6. Read the sentence from the passage. The signs would tell drivers to share the road. Which answer is the correct definition of share as it is used in this sentence? Talk about thoughts or feelings. Have or use along with others. Lend or give away something, or split into smaller parts. And again, you can do that just by substituting in these words for share. So if I were to look at A, I would say the signs would tell drivers to talk about thoughts or feelings the road. That doesn't make any sense. So I know it's not A, but you need to go through and figure out which one does belong there, which one I could replace with the word share, and it would still make sense. And last but not least, number 7 is identifying facts and opinions. Read the sentences from the passage, place a mark in the correct box to show if it states a fact or the author's opinion. And so when you do this, you have to decide, now a whole year has passed. Is that a fact or is that an opinion? Many drivers, runners, and bicycles are still concerned. Is that a fact or is that an opinion? So you go through and you can only choose one per sentence. So if I choose this one as a fact, I can't select opinion. It will change it. So just make sure you only pick one out of these 2 for each row. And I'm going to go back through, and I don't know if I can take it out of there now, but just know I am not necessarily picking the correct answer. I am just showing you what you need to do. And then it does look like this is the last one because I can't scroll down any further. So once you finish question number 7, you're going to click End Test, and then it will tell you which ones you have not answered. So this one, it says I didn't answer 6 of them, so I would have to go back and fix those. For you, hopefully it says 7 total questions, 0 not answered, and you can decide if you want to use bookmarks. So once you get that part done, you just click End Test, and then I can't remember if there's a Submit button. But if there is, just make sure it gets submitted. So hopefully that helps you along the way with the test. You could watch this video again. You could go back to certain parts. You could do it however you wanted to. It's just here to help you. So thanks for your time. Good luck on your test, and we will see you soon.